The Battle of Yarmouk River took place in August 636 between the Arab forces of the Rashidun Caliphate, led by Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah and Khalid ibn al-Walid, and the Byzantine Empire forces under Mahan of Armenia. The battle occurred in Palestine, near the Yarmouk River, which is the largest tributary of the Jordan River. This significant battle marked the beginning of the first great wave of Islamic military conquests. In 634, Caliph Abu Bakr ordered Muslim forces to invade Syria, which had long been under Byzantine control. The Arab army successfully captured Damascus and most of Palestine. In response, Byzantine Emperor Heraclius assembled a large force at Antioch, consisting of native Byzantines, Slavs, Franks, Armenians, Georgians, and Christian Arabs. The emperor's plan was to defeat the Arab forces, who were separated into four main armies in different locations. The Arabs obtained information about the Byzantine plan from prisoners, and in a council of war, it was decided to withdraw from northern and central Syria and concentrate their forces on the plain of Yarmouk. This location, near the Rashidun stronghold of Najd, was more suitable for cavalry operations and offered a potential escape route. The Byzantine army camped north of the Wadi Rakat, and negotiations between the two sides took place but ultimately failed. According to Muslim accounts, the Byzantine force numbered 200,000 to 250,000 men, while the Arab army was estimated at only 24,000 to 40,000 men. Modern estimates suggest that the Byzantines had around 50,000 to 100,000 troops, while the Arabs had 7,500 to 25,000 soldiers. Regardless of the exact numbers, it is clear that the Arabs were heavily outnumbered. The Byzantine commander, Mahan, formed his four armies in a line of battle, with cavalry reserves positioned in the rear. Arab Christian forces were deployed in front, acting as a light screening and skirmish line on camels and horses. On the Muslim side, Khalid took command of the army for the battle, dividing it into 36 infantry and 4 cavalry units. The front line extended for about 10 miles, with the Muslim left anchored on the Yarmouk River. Khalid distributed much of the cavalry as a reserve on the flanks to counter any Byzantine breakthrough attempts. The remaining cavalry was held as a mobile reserve under Khalid's personal command in the center. The army consisted of 4 subgroups, each comprising 9 infantry formations based on clans or tribes. The battle began in mid-August 636, with the two armies positioned less than a mile apart. The Byzantines initiated the first advance, but it was not a strong assault as Mahan sought weaknesses in the Muslim line. On the second day, the Byzantines launched a more significant attack, with 2 armies targeting the Muslim center and the main thrusts coming on the flanks. The Byzantines made considerable progress on the flanks, approaching victory. However, Khalid's cavalry reserve played a crucial role in stabilizing and reinforcing the Muslim right and left flanks. On the third day, the Byzantines launched another attack, aiming to break through the junction of the Muslim right flank and center. Once again, the Muslim mobile reserve, commanded by Khalid, prevented disaster and pushed the Byzantines back to their initial position. On the 4th day of the Battle of Yarmouk, the Byzantines once again came close to victory. Mahan believed that the previous day's assault had weakened the Muslim right wing and decided to resume the attack there. The Armenian contingent of the Byzantine army broke through the Muslim line and advanced towards their camp. However, Khalid's cavalry reserve intervened and prevented a disaster. Khalid split the cavalry reserve into 2 groups to attack the Armenians from both flanks. With Muslim forces surrounding them, the Armenians were forced to retreat, and the original Muslim line was restored. Both sides suffered significant losses during this engagement. Early on the 5th day, Mahan sent an emissary to the Muslims proposing a truce of several days for negotiation. Jarrah was willing to accept the proposal, but Khalid opposed it. As a result, the battle continued, although there was no major fighting that day. Up until this point, the Muslims had been primarily on the defensive. On the 6th day, Khalid correctly assessed that Byzantine morale was low and ordered an attack. His plan was to use the Muslim cavalry to defeat the Byzantine cavalry, leaving their infantry without cavalry support and vulnerable to attacks from the flanks and rear. Simultaneously, a large flanking attack was planned on the Byzantine left, aiming to roll up their line against the river ravine to the west. While Mahan was organizing his cavalry, the Muslim cavalry launched a powerful assault, causing the Byzantine horsemen to withdraw to the north and abandon their infantry. Khalid then directed his cavalry to attack the rear of the Armenian infantry positioned on the Byzantine left. Under the pressure of the 3-pronged Muslim cavalry attack, the Armenians broke, and the rest of the Byzantine army was carried away in their retreat. Trapped against the steep ravines of the Yarmouk River, the Byzantine soldiers could hardly defend themselves, resulting in a large number of casualties. Many Byzantine soldiers fell or remained by falling into the ravines. The Battle of Yarmouk River secured Syria and Palestine for the Muslims. Khalid went on to recapture both Damascus and Emesa. Meanwhile, Emperor Heraclius returned to Constantinople to consolidate his forces and prepare for a potential Muslim advance in Egypt. The Battle of Yarmouk was a decisive victory for the Rashidun Caliphate and played a crucial role in establishing Muslim control over the region. The strategic brilliance of Khalid ibn al-Walid, the effective use of cavalry reserves, and the demoralization of the Byzantine forces contributed to the Muslim triumph. This battle marked a significant turning point in history and paved the way for further Islamic military conquests in the coming years.